And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Friday, December 2nd. I am Josh Engleman, and I'm here to break down an 11-game NBA slate for you guys today. Coming off of a solo one-gamer, no show yesterday, feeling refreshed. Took the little break, got to sleep in a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm telling you right away, straight out of the gate. I didn't like having it. I didn't like it at all. I prefer doing this show. It threw me off. I wasn't, my timing was off the whole day. You get into these rhythms of doing this show Monday through Friday at 6:30 a.m. Eastern time. And it just, like, I couldn't get my flow down. Time was weird because I got up a little bit later and then I'm doing the things that I normally do a little bit later. And then I did the strategy show, but then I didn't have anything. It was just, I didn't like it. So we need to figure something out the next time that happens, because that one didn't work for me. We might be doing one-game process shows in the future. Now, I was happy to get rid of the contenders. I didn't need to give my top 5 plays on both sites for a showdown slate. Those are crummy. That's some NBA Finals type stuff. It's crummy when it's Dallas and Detroit. Go Detroit, by the way. But yeah, I think we might have to do these for showdown slates in the future. 11 games today, though, a little bit more manageable. It's the upper bound. I would prefer it to be 10. I'd obviously prefer it to be less. Anything more than 11 is just unwieldy. And this is mildly unwieldy. The problem really just lies in the fact that so much happens between tip-off at 7 o'clock and what I assume is a 10:30 start for the Golden State Warriors and Chicago Bulls. It just feels like two different slates. That's all. I've got coffee here that I am desperate to get into. Picked up the vanilla collagen creamer yesterday, getting off of the chocolate. Probably should have mixed them. I still have a little bit of chocolate left. Got my sweet cream creamer back. I had just been using the heavy cream that's been at the house since Thanksgiving, but I'm ready to just dive into this slate. We do have the hard out at 8 o'clock. Got to go to the gym in the morning. Keep my fitness on. Do we talk about the Chris Paul stuff? I know that he will be out for this matchup against Houston. I don't know if he's hanging out with Kim Kardashian right now. Rough break for old Chris Paul last night during Kanye's meltdown. Was able to let one loose that evidently he caught Chris Paul with Kim at some point in time. Lunacy. Why would Kim Kardashian want anything to do with Chris Paul? I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense. Chris Paul, Pete Davidson, Chris Humphries, Ray J, Kanye, I guess. This girl's got terrible taste. No wonder Chris Paul can't win. She's just breaking people left and right. I don't know what's going to happen to Pete Davidson in the next year or two, but it's not going to be good. It's got to be bad for him, man. I mean, like, it's just, she's just, there's so many headstones in this girl's grave. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I've got my coffee. I hope you guys do as well. If you got a coffee, tea, water, beer, it feels like a coffee day. It's Friday, guys. It's Friday. Fridays are for coffees. That's if Saturdays are for the boys, Fridays are for coffees. If you've got it, be ready for it. Rise and grind. See, I can do this one now all day. I got the point down like it's nothing. Easy stuff. So cheers to you guys. Let's get it started. That's a letdown. That's not as good as I wanted it to be. I don't like it. Let me take another sip. I'm going to drink this. I am, because I've been craving it. This isn't very good. I'm going to say something people are going to yell at me for. It tastes like Dunkin' Donuts. And I don't mean that as a compliment, obviously. But that is not a good cup of coffee. All right. All right, let's get into it. Also, by the way, shout out to BetMGM. You see it on the banner up here and a little bit down here. We're going to talk about them in a little bit before we run crunches, but I just wanted to say hi to BetMGM. I wanted to thank them for sponsoring this video. Now, let's break down some basketball. Switch that view, switch that view. There we go. I don't know. Why is it? It just tastes off. It just tastes off to me. It's not the... I don't want to chug it like I normally do. Oh, Calvin, I don't mind. I don't need coffee in that I want the caffeine. I woke up feeling great, plenty of energy. I love the taste of coffee. I crave it. A lot of the time, this is decaf. If it wasn't for one of my best friends taking a job with a coffee company, this would be decaf. But he gave me a bunch of coffee to try that he was sent from his company. So I've been grinding beans and testing out the coffee, and it's pretty good. I love it. But normally this is going to be decaf for me. The caffeine's the least important part of it. I just love the drink itself. Nah, it's just the ritual of like a hot cup of liquid in the morning. All right, here we go. Washington Wizards, 3-point favorites in Charlotte, 221 total. No Rui Hachimura, no DeLon Wright, which means this should actually be pretty easy for Washington. The one benefit for today is that we only had one game yesterday. And best I could tell, Dallas doesn't play today, nor does Detroit, which means we have an injury report for everybody. Makes it easier. Makes it a lot easier. So we'll kick it off with Washington. Standard rotations here. At least that's what my expectation is. And for every team, I'm just going to start them from scratch, just so I have a good feeling about the team, especially on a day where I don't do the strategy show. So I'm going to go 26 to Monty Morris. I'm going 37 to Beal. I'm going 37 to Kyle Kuzma. I'm going... I don't like going 34 to Porzingis because he's Porzingis. So I'm going to go 33 to Porzingis. Denny Avdia seems like right around that 26 mark. Corey Kispert's minutes now down for 3 straight. I'm going to go 23 on Kispert. Jordan Goodwin feels like right around that 21 mark. And then we're looking at Will Barton, Daniel Gafford. Gafford playing the past 2 games is interesting. I don't want to give him the full backup run, although they did split all 48 minutes here. Did they do that here as well? Okay, so Gafford's just back to being the backup center. So oddly enough, I'm just going to give him 15 minutes. And then that'll allow me to go... I can't go 22. Oh, I got to go... Anthony Gill needs some random rotation. So I have 22 here. Let's go 16 to Will Barton so that I can go 6 to Anthony Gill. We'll do something like that. Perfect. Now, rates, I don't have to change. It's the Beal, Porzingis, Kuzma show, and we don't care too much about anything else. So let's go to the Charlotte side. Let us not forget, this is an exceptional matchup for the Washington Wizards. So that will matter. For the Charlotte Hornets, still no LaMelo, although maybe back later this week. Obviously, Gordon Hayward going to be out for a while. Obviously, Cody Martin out for a while. Dennis Smith Jr. still out. We do get Terry Rozier back, so we don't have to worry about the 32 minutes plus going to Teo Maledon. So right away, we're going to get Terry Rozier in for 36 minutes. We're going to get Mason Plumlee in for 28 minutes. He's just going to split the center minutes with Nick Richards. Kelly Oubre, I'm going straight in for 32. We get PJ Washington in for 30. 31? 30? 31 for PJ Washington. Jalen McDaniels. Feels like he's playing 30 a game with no Gordon Hayward. Bryce McGowan's played on Monday. I don't get the sense that's a long-term decision. I think that's just because Rozier was also out. I mean, Teo Maledon is going to be the backup point guard at the very least, but he was playing, even just these games where LaMelo's been out, he's been playing a little bit more than that. They've had no problem playing them alongside each other. So I'm at least going to take him up to 22. Then we got to go Book Knight and Kai Jones, I guess, for the final 41 minutes. That feels right. We'll go Book Knight in for 16. I can't go 25 to Kai Jones, right? That would be insane. So then I need to figure out, where am I missing minutes? That is the question. Or are they going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? So they did run this 9-man rotation on Friday with no Gordon Hayward, with Terry Rozier, and that is a thing. That is a thing. Now, Kai Jones, I mean, I think the answer is 20 minutes. So man, so Kai Jones minutes. Okay, so PJ Washington and Kai Jones, did they split the minutes at the 4? Because then you get Mason Plumlee here and Nick Richards. That's where things get interesting. Because I don't think that Kai Jones or PJ Washington have the ability to play the 3. Which means that we can only give 96 minutes to Mason Plumlee, Nick Richards, PJ Washington, and Kai Jones. That's important to know. So if I'm going 31 to PJ Washington, I'm going 17 to Kai Jones. Now there would be, in theory, 8 additional minutes for someone. I'm going to take Maledon to 24 just because it doesn't matter. And then I'm going to take James Bouknight to 18 because it doesn't matter. And then I will give 4 spillover minutes to someone random. Do I have an extra guy? I'll just throw them to Mark Williams since it doesn't really matter. Now, rates we do need to grab, but we can be pretty quick here. This is just going to be LaMelo Ball off, Gordon Hayward off. And then we can move forward. And we want to zip through this one because this is not, well, I mean, we want to spend the time on it, but at the same time, we do have a lot of games to break down. Terry Rozier, 283 minutes with those guys off, 29% usage rate. I always like to dial that back a little bit. Kelly Oubre is at 28.5. So there's also that. We get Jalen McDaniels in for 17. We get Mason Plumlee in for 14.5. We get Nick Richards in for 16.5. PJ Washington in for 22.5. A little bit lighter than that. And then Teo Maledon, 246 minutes, 16.5% usage rate. That's what we get for the Charlotte Hornets. at least from a usage perspective. Assist rate. Now, this is where it actually does become a little interesting. Terry Rozier gets a bump, but nothing too... Actually, doesn't get a bump. Basically stays the same. Now, should I take DSJ off and really see how we crank that assist rate? Because I don't think it changes... I don't think DSJ is going to change the usage rates all that much. But I assume it changes the assist rate for Terry Rozier. Yeah, it does go up a little bit. So a little bump to Rozier. Little bump to Maledon. Mason Plumlee, oddly enough, gets a little bit of a bump. We'll give him that. You get the rebounding rates. No way I'm changing that. So let's look at Charlotte. And they look okay. Terry Rozier, 7,600, 7,400. Very reasonable play. Just a mid-pack guy. Jalen McDaniels, FanDuel, 4,500. That's not bad. There's just no real true priorities. Washington, though, even worse. I think it's fine if you want to get to Kuzma for 8K on DraftKings or 7,600 on FanDuel, but these guys are all just priced appropriately. Hard to really want to dig into it. Not the best first game. So we go to game number 2, the Denver Nuggets. 2-point favorites in Atlanta, 231 total. Atlanta, I know, is going to look interesting because John Collins is out for a bit. All right, so we go to Denver. Still no Michael Porter Jr., still no Jeff Green, Jamal Murray in. So I believe this is just the rotation that we've been getting. And if that's the case, we can do this pretty quickly. Jamal Murray, straight away in for 31. Ish Smith in for 17. Nikola Jokic. I think we know who that guy is. Straight away in for 33, I guess. Backup center run going straight to DeAndre Jordan. So much of this is simple. Chanchar has been playing quite a bit as of late, but let's get... Ooh, I projected too many minutes there. DeAndre Jordan there. Let's go 15. Let's get Aaron Gordon in for 30. We get KCP. Oddly light minutes these past 2 games. I don't know how much to read into that, but I'm not going any lower than 30 on KCP. And then Bruce Brown just playing a ton right now. That's going to have to be 33. Well, the rest of these guys should be pretty easy. We'll go Chanchar in for the other 18 minutes at the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they ran a 9-man rotation. Where did those minutes go? I guess they went to Ish Smith. Hannah, thanks for being here. Appreciate all you guys here. All right, Devon Reed's going to go in for 18. And then we have 15 minutes left over, but there's not a natural human being that should get those minutes. Am I missing something? Oh, I am missing something. I'm dumb. Bones Highland is back. So I assume there's some minutes going to Bones. So I'm going to take some of those minutes away from Devon Reed. Let's get Bones to 22. That takes Reed to 11. Rates can all stay the same here. Although, I think this one might be important. I think I can move quickly. So we're going to take MPJ off. And let's just say it's games where Jokic and Murray both played. Because that's still a couple hundred minutes. Jokic with no MPJ in games that Murray also played. 27% usage rate. Usage rate starting to climb again here for Nikola Jokic. Good to see. Jamal Murray, in this case, 27.5% usage rate. I don't think that's going anywhere anytime soon. KCP, It's at 13.5. That dude not shooting. Aaron Gordon is at 20. Good to see. Bones, 101 minutes, 29% usage rate. We'll take him up to 28. And then finally, Bruce Brown is at 16. We'll lock in. Assist rate, I'm sure Jokic is massive because he's incredible. Bump that up a little bit. Jamal Murray can stay the same. Bruce Brown would be the only other guy that I'd be worried about. His is normal. Finally, rebounding rate for Jokic, because that's really all that matters. Also gets a bump with no MPJ out there. That's going to be Denver. Atlanta, however, is the team that's going to be interesting because we are freeing up 30 minutes of John Collins. Actually, this is going to be basically impossible. No DeAndre Hunter, which I don't think that I knew. No John Collins. These guys are going to be out for a week or 2 weeks at least. But Q tag on Capella, Q tag on Bogdan Bogdanovic, Q tag on Jalen Johnson. Justin Holiday is out. This is a very thin Atlanta team right now. I need to take a peek at something quickly. I think I'm missing a Hawk somewhere. Let me see if that's the case. For Atlanta, that's not the right filter. Yes, I am missing Jarrett Culver. Jarrett Culver, come on down. I'm not going to be able to add this for Atlanta. What's the easiest way to do this? I guess I just got to unfilter. That's annoying. Let's make sure I don't have Culver on a roster. Sure don't. Guess we can get rid of Josh Primo in here for right now. Don't think he's coming back anytime soon. Might be a long time there on old Joshy Preems. There we go. I'm allowed to say things about Josh Primo because we're both Joshes. I think that's how that works. All right, there we go. Atlanta's now sort of set up. Now, the easy parts are what we can start with here. Trae Young in for 36 minutes. DeJounte Murray in for 38 minutes. I have to assume that Clint Capella is playing today. He has played the past 2 games. He is questionable with left foot soreness. So let's get Clint Capella right away in for his 29. That allows us to go to Onyeka Okongwu for 19. And now we run into our disasters. So we're going to say that Bogdan Bogdanovic comes back and just plays 20 minutes. Only way that we can really project this. Jalen Johnson, if he's available, is probably going to start. And he probably has to close. Because they're going to close with Trae and Murray and Capella, obviously. But they need 2 more dudes here. And it can't be Aaron Holiday. I think if Justin Holiday were available, he would close. AJ Griffin is likely to now play like all sorts of minutes. So I'm going to give him 28, but I think he's live to play into the 30s. I'm going to give Jalen Johnson 28. I got to sneeze. There's still one in there somewhere. I'm going to go 28 to Jalen Johnson. I'm going to go 26 to Jalen Johnson. Because he just has not had that sort of jump yet. But backup power forward is somebody. I mean, maybe it's something more like that. And then you get like 22 minutes out of Jarrett Culver. I think Jarrett Culver is going to start today. No, it's gonna be Young, Murray, Griffin, Johnson, Capella if those guys are in. So we'll go 22 to Culver. We'll go 12 to Vit. Oh, I still got to get Trent Forrest in there too. Okay, so I can go a little bit less, I think, to Culver. We'll go 18 to Culver. That leaves me 13 minutes for Forrest and Vit Krejci. Go 12 and then 10 and 4 here. Try something like that. Now, I assume that we actually do have to look at these rates. I just don't know how big the sample is going to be. If I take John Collins off and DeAndre Hunter off, I can't imagine this is a lot of minutes for the guys that matter. I actually don't want to delete those rates just yet. Like Murray, that's 143 minutes in this situation. Does have a giant bump in usage, but Trey played 131 minutes with those two guys off. Oh my God. In 131 minutes with John Collins off and DeAndre Hunter off, he has a 49% usage rate. That's insane. Insane. So I think I have to just say, I'm going to say one of those guys off. That's hilarious, though. All right, so as long as one of them are off, that can increase my sample for these guys. It does increase DeJounte Murray's usage rate, which is kind of weird because it's not like either one of those guys are big usage guys. Trae Young has a 42% usage rate when one of John Collins or DeAndre Hunter are off the floor, or both. That's insane. So I'm going to give him a bump. I have to. I can't go too high, though. Nobody else gets any usage for this team. Now, Trey's assist rate is down a bit without those guys. That kind of makes sense to me. If the usage rate is going to be so high, you also can't get assists. DeJounte Murray's assist rate is actually a bit higher. So let's try something like that out, and we'll see what Atlanta looks like. The only problem is facing Denver, really. Facing Denver makes you worse. Clint Capella, 182 minutes in this scenario. No real sizable jump in rebounding rate. All right, so for Atlanta, yeah, I like Murray and Trae Young quite a bit on DraftKings. A little bit less so on FanDuel, especially for Trae Young because of the lack of the three-point bonus. But I think DeJounte Murray looks really good. Now, I've been heavy on DeJounte Murray as of late, so that's no surprise, but get yourself some Murray. On the Nuggets side, hard to say anybody looks good. Bruce Brown, probably my favorite Nugget. I'd say Nikola Jokic is probably just a little overpriced. Not overpriced, but like hard to get to. So that's 2 games down through a half hour. Great start, Josh. Really cruising through it. For the 120 people that are here, hit that like button. That would help out a ton. Miami Heat. I assume you're going to screw me over with a terrible injury report. More or less, this one's even more complicated than it normally is because Jimmy Butler might be back. The Miami Heat are 8-point dogs in Boston, 225 total. I guess I have to assume that Jimmy Butler plays today. So this should actually be pretty easy to do. We're going to go 36 minutes to Kyle Lowry. We're going to go 36 minutes to Tyler Hero. We're going to go 34 minutes to Jimmy Butler in his return. We're going to go 34 minutes to Bam Adebayo. 14 to Dwayne Dedmon. We're going to go 35 minutes Caleb Martin. And then we're just going to project everybody else out accordingly. It's been so long since these guys have played. I don't know how many minutes to give to Max Strus. I think that answer is like 32. And then Gabe Vincent gets the backup point guard run plus a little bit more. Take him to 18. That's an 8-man rotation. Probably need to dial back some of these minutes then. Let's go 32 to Caleb Martin. We'll go 30 to Strus. And then I guess I'm just going to go like 6 to Duncan Robinson. I don't think the Heat are going to look all that good, so none of this is going to matter. I do have to quickly grab the rates for Miami with Jimmy Butler back. This is what slows me down. All right, in games that Lowry, Butler, and Bam have all played, I need a usage rate. Oh, I guess I need to add Hero to that too. And Tyler Hero. How many times have all 4 of those guys played in a game this year? It's not a lot. 8 games. Okay. Bam Adebayo. 22.5% usage rate. Caleb Martin. 14.5. JB. 23.7% usage rate. Kyle Lowry. 17. Max Strus. Normal Max Strus 18.8. Tyler Hero 25 and change. Oh man. Coffee's growing on me, at least. Assist rates I don't really have to change other than Tyler Hero just doesn't get them. And that's about it. Bam's rebounding rate is really putrid. We'll cut that down a bit. I can't imagine we're getting anything here of value for Miami. To go to the Boston side of this one, what do we have for the Celtics? Everybody's just in and normal. So this should be really, really easy to do. We get Grant Williams in for 28. Luke Cornett a little bit more playing time. I got 22 for Brogdon. Make that 23. 32 for Smart. That works. I am very happy with the minutes that I have for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So, Sam Hauser played quite a bit less. I'll take one of those Sam Hauser minutes away. Give it to Al Horford. Don't have any rates to change. I know we did this one on Wednesday. So, for the Boston Celtics, what's up, Crispy? Jaylen Brown is $8K now on DraftKings. They've lowered the $8,500 price that I thought was crazy and gone now to a better price. So if you like Jaylen Brown at $8,500, can I interest you in some Jaylen Brown at $8K? Let's keep in mind, Jaylen Brown over the past 30 days is a 1.14 fantasy point per minute guy. I have him at that rate for today. Don't know why his price is coming down, but if you want to play Jason Tatum, go for it. He's just priced appropriately. Hard to go a different direction there. Not a lot to like here from Boston. On the Miami end, I'd say Tyler Hero 7,300 on DraftKings. But if Jimmy Butler is back, it's pretty hard to want to go to any of Miami against Boston. All right, 3 games down. Toronto, 2-point dogs in Brooklyn, 223 total. Toronto's starting to become a confusing team. Boucher is available. No Otto Porter, no Precious Achiuwa. But we have Gary Trent now, like, coming off the bench, which is the thing that's been happening. And he shot the lights out against New Orleans, but they got their ass kicked. But Thad Young now starting. What a weird lineup. Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, Thad Young. Just doesn't seem to be working. All right. Do we need to make any major changes here? I got 24 in for Thad Young. Didn't work out that way for Thad this past game. I'm going to take him down to 22. Bump up Christian Coloco. Chris Boucher I have in for 22. We got Van Vliet in for 36. So 35, I guess. I got Gary Trent in for 28. He played more than that off the bench, which makes no sense. 16 for Wancho could go up. I don't know where those minutes are going to come from. Scotty Barnes, maybe. Pascal Siakam, no, I guess. I don't really have any other changes that I can make for this team. I just hope they don't look good. Toronto's weird right now. I don't think they know what they want to do. Now, for Brooklyn, I know what I want to do, and unfortunately, it's going to be play Kyrie Irving, and unfortunately for me, it's not going to work out well. The problem for Brooklyn, and it's not really a problem, but it's great to see TJ Warren is back today. He has not played in like 2 years. He is a massive piece for this Brooklyn Nets team. If TJ Warren is able to get back to playing 30 minutes a game by the time we get to the playoffs, I think Brooklyn is a terrifying playoff team. Kyrie, Ben Simmons, if Joe Harris finds his shot, Royce O'Neal, TJ Warren, Kevin Durant, there's something. I mean, TJ Warren is no joke. This could get really, really tricky. Now, 37 minutes for Kyrie, 37 minutes for Kevin Durant, 36 minutes for Royce O'Neal. We're going to go 26 minutes to Seth Curry. We got Nick Claxton in for 32. Make that 31. We're going to take those Markieff Morris minutes away. I don't know why he only played a little bit, but he did. We got to get TJ Warren back out there. I give him 16 minutes. Try something like that. Joe Harris played 32. He played 37. But with TJ Warren back now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They basically ran an 8-man rotation, which is crazy. I think it goes to 9 with Warren back. I don't know what to project TJ Warren as. I know it just won't matter for today. But let's look at this game. So once again, I will have all of the Kyrie Irving. 8,200 on DraftKings. 8,100 on FanDuel. He took a ton of shots this last time out. He's playing 37 minutes a game. Like, don't overthink it. Looks really good. Nick Claxton, 6K on DraftKings, 6,700 on FanDuel. Still looks really good. Happy to play Durant. Nothing else there for Brooklyn. It's Kyrie for me as a priority and Nick Claxton as a priority. Then for Toronto, basically nobody. I don't mind going to Siakam because he's got power forward center, but I don't like the way that these guys are priced right now or the minutes that these guys have been playing. So that's 4 games. So we have 7 games left. We got 50 minutes to go. We got a shot here. The Orlando Magic are 10-point underdogs in Cleveland, 216 total. Orlando got Markelle Fultz back, played 16 minutes. They got Cole Anthony back, played 24 minutes. So bodies are starting to come back here for the Orlando Magic. We still have no Jalen Suggs, no Wendell Carter, no Gary Harris for this one, right hamstring strain. So we'll get Gary Harris out of there. No Chuma Okeke, no John Isaac. So we saw Cole Anthony play 24 minutes in his return. I'm going to stick with that 24. We saw Fultz play 16. I am going to make that 18. RJ Hampton barely played. Mo Bamba did not play. He is questionable here once again. I'm going to take everything else out here except for Paolo Banchero in for 35. Franz Wagner in for 33. Have to assume that Mo Bamba is going to start if he's playing, at which point I would have him in for 25 minutes. We also then get Mo Wagner in at center. Give him 20, just 20, I guess. You get Bull playing his standard issue 31, probably 30. And then who else is a priority? I guess Terrence Ross in for 22, 23. So 23. Who's left? I got 32 minutes. It's not Gary Harris. So it's Caleb Houston, Admiral Schofield, Kevon Harris. I don't really care about any of these guys. They're not going to show up. So let's go 16 Caleb Houston, 16 to Admiral Schofield. I got the usage rate in for Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. I can't imagine we're going to be all that interested in anything from Orlando, but especially against Cleveland with a 216 total. Now, for Cleveland, still no Jared Allen, still no Ricky Rubio. Kevin Love is doubtful, so I don't really care there. Lamar Stevens is probable for this one. That really is a complicating factor, honestly. So 37 for Garland. I'm going to make that 36. We've got Donovan Mitchell in for 33. LeVert in for 28. I can bump that up to 29. I just don't know what they're going to do with Lamar Stevens. I really don't. I got 30 for Wade. Looks like Isaac Okoro is going to lose some sizable minutes. So if we get Lamar Stevens in for 26, it gives me 12. Maybe they go to Diakite over Robin Lopez. Not that that's going to matter. I don't like this Cleveland rotation. I got to give Isaac Okoro some more minutes. I just don't know if they come from Chetty or Lamar Stevens. They probably come from Chetty. Or sorry, Chetty or... Yeah, Chetty or Lamar Stevens. All right. I think that's just going to have to hold. So Cleveland actually does look okay on DraftKings. Like Garland, Mobley, Mitchell, Wade, LeVert. I'd be fine going anywhere there. I think Evan Mobley is the best option at 7K. And I think that he is also the best option at 7,200 on FanDuel, power forward, center eligible. But nothing too crazy from Cleveland. On the opposite end of Cleveland, we have Orlando. Basically unplayable to me other than Paolo Banchero. I don't know how you can prioritize anything from the Orlando Magic right now. Game 6, 145 people. We're looking good. The Los Angeles Lakers are 8.5-point dogs in Milwaukee, 228 total for the Lakers. Q tag on Dennis Schroeder, personal reasons. Q tag on Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker missed this most recent game. Troy Brown, LeBron James, AD, all available. Good to see. So, let's think about this here. How do we want to handle it? Do we know anything about Dennis Schroeder's potential personal absence? Guessing no. Nope. Don't know. Okay. Well, man. I mean, Schroeder's been playing 28 minutes a game, but it's like, okay, Beverly was out for those games, and then Lonnie Walker and Troy Brown are out for those games. He's not starting. So I'm going to go 22 to Schroeder. I think Beverly starts, plays around 24 minutes. I'm fine with Russ at 26. 35 minutes for Anthony Davis at center makes sense. LeBron James in for 35 makes sense. 31 for Lonnie Walker if he plays. 31 for Austin Reeves if he plays, I think. Although, maybe that should be 28. And then we get Troy Brown for 24. And then I need to give Wenyen Gabriel. Oh, Thomas Bryant got a bunch of minutes again. Give him 8 as well. Lakers are pretty easy in that, like, it doesn't really matter. You're either playing LeBron or AD or nobody. It only matters when those guys are out. Oh, SMP. Appreciate that. That's a reasonable reason for him to not be there. I mean, if I'm the Lakers, I'm absolutely starting Pat Bev over Dennis Schroeder. I don't even think that's close. I don't know what Dennis Schroeder does to help the Lakers in a starting lineup, but Patrick Beverly fits a starting lineup much better. That's just a better allocation of resources. For the Bucks, Chris Middleton back. So he's clearly not playing like real minutes today. That's just not the way that this is going to work. We're going to go ahead and pop Drew Holiday in for 33. We're going to pop Giannis in for 33. We're going to get Brook Lopez in for 30. We're going to get Bobby Portis in for 27. We're going to get Chris Middleton back. I'm going to say that he just plays 24 minutes today. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see. I don't know what's going to happen to Javon Carter's minutes. I think Grayson Allen is obviously just going to maintain the role that he had. So we'll go 28 minutes to Grayson Allen. George Hill is going to continue to play minimal backup run. He's mostly the backup point guard. Javon Carter, 22. That leaves me 30 extra minutes for Pat Connaughton and Wes Matthews. Easy enough. 18 and 12. Now, I'm just going to lock in Chris Middleton's normal usage rate and lock in Drew Holiday's normal usage rate. Giannis can just be Giannis because he's Giannis. So for Milwaukee, I like Drew a lot. 7,500 on DraftKings. Just another point guard that isn't priced correctly. But he's clearly the best guy here. Giannis at 12.3 or 12K. Feel free to get to Giannis whenever you want. It's just always hard, but great matchup against the Lakers. The Lakers stink. For the Lakers, if I'm going to anybody, it's AD, and I'm probably not going there all that frequently. We're going to get to a game soon that's amazing. Philly and Memphis here. 5.5-point dogs for the Sixers. 219 total. Still no Harden, no Maxey, although Harden might be back later this week. Q-tag on Tobias Harris for a non-COVID illness. That would actually have like major ripple effects. But I don't think it really matters. And I don't think really any of this matters right now. Like, we know this rotation. I got Embiid for 34. PJ Tucker's playing around 28. Niang plays about 20. If Tobias Harris is out, it changes a ton. But for now, he's not. So it doesn't. Korkmaz's minutes might actually be coming down finally. Going to a little bit more Matisse Thybulle. This is a decent spot for Thybulle, actually. Chase around Ja Morant. So let's call that for Philly. Rates are still the same. This is a team that has not been changing as of late, with Embiid in at least. So we go to Memphis. Jake LaRavia is still doubtful. Still no Zaire Williams, but he is very close to returning. And then Desmond Bane obviously still out. So this is really just an exercise in moving minutes around, because this is the same rotation that we had on Wednesday. And the only other piece that we need to worry about was replacing Jake LaRavia, and he got replaced by no one. So 34 minutes for Ja. Backup point guard run goes to Tyus. Tyus played a little bit more with no LaRavia in. So I'm going to take him to 24. Actually, I'll take him to 25. We got 28 minutes for Steven Adams. 20 minutes for Brandon Clark. So they did go to a couple minutes of Jaren Jackson at the 5, I guess. So we're going to take Brandon Clark to 18. We'll leave Jackson at his 28. Santi Aldama only played 18. Conchar in for 30. Dylan Brooks in for 32. David Roddy did play more, so that's interesting to see. We're going to take David Roddy up to 22, and then we'll spill 2 over into Tillman. Easy game to break down there. Memphis and Philly. For Memphis, $9,900 Ja Morant on FanDuel should be pretty interesting to people. I do think that's probably the best thing you're going to find here. Dylan Brooks is fine. Conchar, his value is fine. There's clearly a ceiling on Jaren Jackson games when things break correctly and he gets those 30 minutes. But I think Ja on FanDuel is your best option. The New Orleans Pelicans. Oh, I didn't look at Philly. Sorry. But 723, we've picked up some pace. So Shake Milton, 6,700, 6,600, continues to be underpriced to me. He's a 0.9 fantasy point per minute guy as the starting point guard for the team. Like, there's just going to be days where that looks really good. Joel Embiid, 11.3 and 11.5 is okay. $6,200 DeAnthony Melton on FanDuel as well. God, my leg just keeps sliding down my knee. I don't like it. Pelicans, Spurs. Okay, we probably have a lot to talk about here. No Ingram, no Herb Jones, CJ McCollum back. Now, this one is one we actually have to break down. CJ's been out for 4 games, plus half of the 5th. But we have no Herb. So this is going to be wild because facing the Spurs is a great game. It's a 232 total, and the Pelicans are favored by 7 on the road, missing 2 starters. So I'm going to say that CJ comes straight back. I don't think that he goes like crazy. So I'm going to go 32 to CJ. We're going to continue to split Joe Val and Larry Nance. They actually, what did they play? Nance and Willie Hernan Gomez alongside each other on Wednesday? Is that what happened? Do I still have that one open? Sure do. Okay, so Joe Val was out there. I'm going to pull it over here so I can see it easier. All right, so Joe Val was out there. He comes off for Larry Nance. And then they're just playing Larry Nance at the 4 and using Willie Hernan Gomez as the backup 5. Yeah. Wait, and then they had Zion at the 5 for a minute or 2. So that makes no sense. So then Herb got hurt. And then you have Joe Val come out in the 3rd quarter. Larry Nance subs in for him. But then they immediately bring on Willie Hernan-Gomez. Briefly. Nance finishes up the center run there, and then they alternate. Okay. Well, I'm going to go 24 to Joval. I'm going to assume that Willie Hernan-Gomez plays again. I mean, there's 8 minutes for Willie Hernan-Gomez, something like that. 2 center minutes for Zion gets him to 32. Take him to 33. I don't want to go too crazy. And then Nance gets 22. Something like that. Then we're going to have to give Trey Murphy 34 minutes. I mean, he's just going to be out there for a boatload. And then we're going to get Najee Marshall out there for... I mean, I assume he starts, right? Najee Marshall's starting here. I think. Maybe 26 to Najee Marshall. And then you get Devontae Graham in at backup point guard run. You get Alvarado in for 22. Are they going to start Dyson Daniels? I don't think that they're going to... I think Daniels takes a... I think you lose out on Daniels with CJ back. I think Najee Marshall's the guy that's going to start here. But I'll give 23 minutes then to Dyson Daniels. Now, Herb Jones' piece won't matter all that much, but CJ being back does. But we had enough of games earlier in the season where Ingram was out. So we can say Ingram off. Games that Zion and CJ both played. What do we have here? It's not a huge sample, oddly enough, but it's good enough. So Zion's got a 26.5% usage rate in that situation. CJ's also at 26. Nobody else really gets a huge one other than Joval. He's just himself. So Roses in Discord, one of the last messages yesterday was comparing Killian Hayes to Bob Cousy. Like Killian Hayes is like one of the 30 worst regulars in the league. It's the like the guy's bit is just so stupid. He's in. I don't understand it. I don't know why you would want to be so dumb to the public. Killian Hayes has like a 44% true shooting or something awful this year. He can't make a basket from anywhere. He's one of the worst regulars. And this guy called him Bob Cousy. I can't even make that shit up. You're talking about like an inner circle Hall of Famer comp to a guy that's probably playing his way out of the league on one of the worst teams in basketball. Imagine landing on that. It's insane. Oh, it's 7:29 a.m., which means the sun has risen enough to turn my computer from dark mode to light mode. Gotta love it. All right, CJ's assist rate is like 9.5% in these situations, so we got to bump him up. Zion doesn't do too much else. I mean, calling Drummond Shaq is at least like directionally accurate. You know, there was a time where Andre Drummond was like a monstrous double-double block machine. At least that's like a faux true statement. Like, it's dumb and like he's like the homeless man's version of Shaq. But at least Andre Drummond was an actual good basketball player for a couple of years. Killian Hayes might not get his second contract. Like, it's not right. But at least you can see where people are getting there. Killian Hayes to Bob Cousy, you can't You can't make that path. What's my username on Discord? Josh Engleman. Real hard to find. All right, that's the Pels against San Antonio. We have a half hour left, 4 games to get through, so we should be fine here. We have no Jeremy Sohan once again. We have no Jakob Poeltl. Josh Richardson and Doug McDermott are both doubtful for today. Romeo Langford is probable. Blake Wesley obviously still out. Yeah, SMP. I think the league true shooting was also quite a bit lower at that point in time. Also, Bob Cousy played in the 50s. Quite a few different things going on in 50s basketball. Man. Yeah. The league true shooting at that point in time was also 45%. So he was average in that regard. But yeah, look, you drop Killian Hayes into 1955, and you know what's going to happen? If you drop Killian Hayes back into the era where Bob Cousy played, you know what's going to happen? He's going to not be allowed to play, probably. What are we doing? Come on. Oh, my God. All right, Spurs. So let's try to figure out what these Spurs did with no Sohan and no Richardson and all these guys. 32 minutes for Trey Jones. That I like. I'm going to gut everything here because this team is really difficult to project. 34 minutes for Devin Vassell. I'm going to 35 there. We got to get Keldon in for 34. Zach Collins played 27. That is about what I want to do. So I'm going to leave 27. Did they do anything weird? All right, so Charles Bassey just didn't play. Oh, yeah, they have Alize Johnson now. I'm just going to override Blake Wesley for right now. Forgot they have Alize Johnson now. Did Gorgie Jang play? No. Okay. So I'm going to go 27 Collins. Who played the other 4 minutes at the 5? I guess it's Alize Johnson then. We're going to go 27 minutes to Zach Collins. I'm going to go 17 to Roby. Did Alize Johnson play real playing time? Where is that game? Yes, he did. Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. So I'm going to give Alize Johnson 8 minutes. Cousy couldn't dribble with his left hand. Yeah, because in 1955, it didn't matter. All right. Rose's boy, Keita Bates Diop, should play some sizable run today. That's fine. We'll give him like 28 minutes. And then we got to get Romeo Langford in for 20-something. Malachi Branham is going to have to play today. So let's say Romeo Langford plays 24. Malachi Branham plays 20. And I have 15 minutes left for... I got to be missing somebody obvious, right? Man, where am I missing these 15 minutes? Because they've got to replace McDermott. McDermott is the difference here. So who takes the 15 minutes that Doug McDermott didn't play? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. Okay, so they have 10 guys Bassi. Oh yeah, I totally forgot they sent Bassi to the G League, so he is legitimately not even around. So if they're not going to play Gorgie Jang, they have Jones, Vassell Johnson, Collins, Romeo Langford, Keita Bates-Diop, Malachi Branham, Roby is 8, and then Alize Johnson is 9. If they're not going to play Gorgie Jang at all, then they only have 9 guys, which means that I actually think that Alize Johnson's going to play a little bit more than he did. So let's take Alize Johnson to 12. I have to give Keita Bates-Diop 30 now. I think Malachi Branham has to play 22. They don't have the bodies. Gorgie Jang might actually have to step on the floor. Or I got to go even higher to some of these other guys, but I don't see that naturally. I can give 2 more to Roby here, get him to 19. I'm just going to throw 5 to Gorgie Jang. I think the Spurs are going to be kind of interesting here. Yeah, they are. Look at the boom rates here on DraftKings for these 5 starters. 26, 27, 26, 28, 22. The whole Spurs starting lineup looks really, really, really good on DraftKings today. And it's like kind of comparable on FanDuel. Vassell is my primary guy, but Keldon Johnson, Trey Jones, Keita Bates-Diop, Zach Collins to a degree. Like Collins at 5,600 to me is too expensive. But these guys all look really good. Go Spurs today. God, that's the worst thing to say. For the Pels, Najee Marshall, assuming he starts, is at least a little interesting at 3,300 on DraftKings. Trey Murphy, 5,700 on FanDuel is all right. I'll never have a problem going to Zion. I don't think CJ is priced appropriately for... I don't think the right tail that he has. So let's get out of that one. 7:37, 3 games to go. This one should move pretty quickly. It's the Houston Rockets, 11.5-point dogs in Phoenix. For Houston, same rotation that they normally have. I don't really have any changes that I want to make here for Houston. Yeah, hit that like button, guys. 190 people in here. How many do we got? We have 68 likes. Okay, that's not enough. This is a bad ratio. If you're here, guys, hit that thumbs up. Helps us out a ton. I don't think I have anything else that I really want to change here. Like, I'll give Şengün an extra minute. That seems fine. Now we got Bruno Fernando and Garuba both playing. Jabari Smith, more of a 30-minute-a-game guy. Eric Gordon's minutes are down quite a bit. I actually should carve out a couple more of his. 35 for KPJ, 35 for Jalen Green. No, we're going to go 34-34. Get a couple more minutes out there for Garrison Matthews. Why not? That's Houston. We know Houston at this point. Broderick, good work. Good to see, man. Good to see. All right, Phoenix. Booker smashed last time out. No Cam Johnson. Chris Paul out because evidently he smashed too. I don't think that we're going to have a ton to make a change here for. So, you know, this all looks about right. It's Houston. I mean, this should look great for... Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Look, I get too much Mikal Bridges just about every day. Devin Booker is now a 10K guy. And based on the way that he's playing, not exactly unwarranted 1.32 fantasy points per minute over the last 30 days. Campaign's fine at 6,400 or 6K. A little scary, but nothing crazy. It's Houston. So, you know, they just look good. For Houston, nothing really looks good. If you want to get to Green or Porter, that's fine. I think Şengün for 6,600 is okay, but there's no shortage of centers. It's just a tough game. Like, Phoenix should just destroy Houston, obviously. Indiana Pacers are 5-point dogs in Utah, 238 total. For the Pacers, we have a Q tag on Tyrese Halliburton. He's got that left groin soreness. Jalen Green is available. Chris Duarte still out. So this is just kind of standard Indiana rotation. Nothing too wild here. They don't really mix it up all that much. I got 30 minutes in for Miles Turner, Isaiah Jackson, backup center-ish. You get your Halliburton minutes. You get your Buddy Hield minutes. Andrew Nembhard playing 28 minutes a game now. Neesmith's minutes walking back. We know Indiana. There are absolutely no changes to what they've been doing. For Utah, still no Mike Conley, still no Rudy Gay, which means we also know this rotation pretty well. It's been very, very firm. Was Talen Horton-Tucker a DNP CD or was he just out? Jazz box score 1130. No, that I don't want Hispano NBA. How did I even find that that's a thing? DNP CD for Talen Horton-Tucker. Simone Fontecchio into the rotation. So I'm just going to flip-flop those dudes, I guess. Beasley played 18. That's also weird. But we've got the 36 minutes in for Markkanen, 36 minutes in for Jordan Clarkson. 33 for Olynyk. I can't go to 33. I'll go to 32. I will leave Beasley for 28. Colin Sexton in for 31 is okay. Vanderbilt for 25 is fine. They did play Walker Kessler and Kelly Olynyk alongside of each other a lot. 58 minutes total. They played 10 minutes alongside of each other? Yeah, they played. They closed. Was Vanderbilt in foul trouble? Nope. Did Vanderbilt get hurt? Walker Kessler and Kelly Olynyk played. They checked in together and played the final 8 minutes, 30 seconds together. And played a ton in the second half together. Huh. All right, I'm going to give Walker Kessler at least a couple more minutes. Not that it should matter here, but if they're willing to play those two guys alongside each other, that's interesting. How have they been alongside of each other? I definitely don't have time for this query, but I'm looking it up anyway because it interests me. Rates can all stay the same, so we are done Indy, Utah. But let's see. Utah Jazz lineups. Because, like, the Jazz aren't actually good. Their record skews things, but they're like an average team with a little bit of shooting luck. When Kelly Olynyk and Walker Kessler have shared the floor this year, they've played 173 possessions. They are -7. They have a very bad offense, and somehow the defense still stinks. So, not going to read into that one too much. So let's say, what? Have they dropped all these guys' prices? What happened to Clarkson and Markkanen? Did they crush these guys' prices? Jordan Clarkson, 6,600 on FanDuel. Lauri Markkanen, sub 8K. What in the world? All right, so Jordan Clarkson was 7,500 3 days ago. Now back down to 7,100. That price looks great because he's playing more. Lauri Markkanen is 7,900 on DraftKings. He was 8,100, so they brought that price down too. But on FanDuel, Lauri Markkanen is 7,500. He was 8,200 a couple days ago. Clarkson is 6,600. He was 7K a couple days ago. I love Clarkson. This game itself. I love Clarkson. I love Markkanen. I love Colin Sexton. Give me Olynyk. Give me Beasley. $3,100 Walker Kessler is at least semi-interesting as a punt center. If something happens to Kelly Olynyk, Walker Kessler is looking very Andre Drummondy today. So be aware of that. Love the Jazz today. Love them. Pacers, I don't really care too much about any of it. Jalen Smith, Miles Turner, not a great spot. Let's get through this final game and then run our crunches, and then I'm going to get out of here. Chicago Bulls, 7-point dogs in Golden State, 234 total. We got those likes up to 80. That's much better. As we go to Chicago, Russo in. This is standard issue Chicago Bulls. 35 minutes for Levine, 36 minutes for DeRozan, 33 minutes for Vooch. These guys don't do anything different. We know exactly what they're doing. No changes for the Chicago Bulls. For the Golden State Warriors, everybody that's normally available is available. We got that big game out of Jonathan Kuminga this last time out. I'm actually going to give him a little bit of a reward there. Give him more minutes. Get him up to 18. But, it's Steph. It's Wig. It's Draymond. Anthony Lamb's playing. Looney's playing. Looney minutes down lately, so it's probably a Looney day somehow. DiVincenzo not playing as much as I would have expected, but that's about as easy of a rotation as you're going to get. I like Clay more than I like anybody else for the 9 millionth straight day. Just because of the price tag. Steph honestly looks totally reasonable at 10-7 on DraftKings. That's not a guy I normally get to. And on the Bulls side, Levine, Vooch, DeRozan, if those are the guys you want to play, go for it. Folks, let's run some crunches. Now, before we run those crunches, I got to talk to you about BetMGM. They are the sponsor of this show. And we're here to run some crunches, and we're here to figure out what the best plays are. But it's not just always about DFS, folks. Sometimes you got to think a little bit about some sports betting because it's coming to every state eventually. You're going to want to get in on some of these good deals, and there's no better time than right now. So click the link in the description of the video. Head on over to BetMGM. You got to be in a legal betting state. You need to also be new to BetMGM. You're going to make a deposit, and I need you to put down $10 on one of the World Cup matches. This is what we've got going on today. If you want the safety of all safeties, just take Brazil, put down $10. You're only going to win $3.64 when Brazil wins. The outcome of the bet is irrelevant. If you put that bet in for $10, you're going to get $200 in free bets. It's that simple. If you want to make it a little bit better for yourself, feel free to take Portugal. I wouldn't have much of an issue there. I think that works. Take Uruguay if you want to. Cheer for Darwin Nunez, Liverpool man. I think that would work as well. Either way, $10 on Portugal, $10 on Uruguay, $10 on Brazil, whichever way you want to go. Do that. $200 in free bets. FanDuel Optimals. Hit that like button if you like optimal lineup crunches on this show. That should make everybody do it. Who wouldn't want this? All right. FanDuel Optimals. 333.35. This is the optimal by 0.03 fantasy points. Kyrie Irving, Jordan Clarkson, Devin Vassell, Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, Zach LaVine, Keldon Johnson, Keita Bates, Diop, and Evan Mobley. If you want to make a switch here, you can lose 0.03 of a point and switch Zach LaVine and KDB for Mikal Bridges and Jalen McDaniels. Now, power rankings on FanDuel for today. Stretch it out here. Don't you talk about my Uruguay like that. A lot of Jazz at the top. Spurs climbing. Obviously, Kyrie up there. All right. It's looking like it's going to be a combination of the Jazz guys plus Kyrie. Some sort of either Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton. We're down the stretch. They're neck and neck. Clarkson pulling away. Jordan Clarkson is your number one contender for today. Colin Sexton, Kyrie Irving, Lauri Markkanen, and Devin Vassell round out the top 5. Payne, KDB, DeJounte Murray, Mikal Bridges, and Shake Milton round out the rest of the top 10. And then we close it out on DraftKings. DraftKings Optimals. What do we have? Wow. Kyrie Irving, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Keita Bates Diop, Zach Collins, Jordan Clarkson, Lauri Markkanen, and Walker Kessler. Interesting. 293.64. That's the optimal by 0.3. If you want to, you can just simply turn Devin Vassell into Terry Rozier. Power rankings on DraftKings, and then we are finished. Then I got to go get tortured at the gym. Yeah, that is a lineup. Looking like Lauri Markkanen is going to be the number one guy, but he is getting run down by Keita Bates Diop right now. Going to be close. It's tight at the top. The top two plays on DraftKings are going to be Lauri Markkanen and Keita Bates Diop. I just don't know what that order is going to be. Yeah, Zeke, I don't look forward to the gym. It's hard. No one looks forward to hard things. I go anyway because I know it benefits me, but I don't look forward to it. It sucks. I'm going to have to work really, really hard. Markkanen, KDB, Kyrie Irving, Trey Jones, Klay Thompson, your top 5. Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Karis LeVert, DeJounte Murray, Najee Marshall round out the bottom. That's assuming Najee Marshall starts, obviously. Whew. Folks, we made it through another work week. Another one in the books. Another one. DJ Khaled. Anyway, it's a good one, man. 11 games. No strategy show for me, as usual, on Fridays. You'll get the contenders videos once I get back from the gym. Deeper dive, though, tonight. Myself and Adam, 4:45. We will break this bad boy down for an hour and 15 minutes. It should be a fantastic show. We'll have a ton more news at that point, too. So thank you guys for being here. It's great. Great getting everybody together. Enjoy your weekend, guys. It's going to be a fun one. Contenders videos on Sunday as well. Don't ever miss those. But that's it, everybody. This was the process.